Dave Tosh, Executive Director, Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. And today I'm with Pete Cappler, who is the travel trainer for Link. And we've invited Della Franz to sit in with us today. I'll talk a little more about Della here as we go. Or maybe she'll talk a lot about herself and the rest of the place. Anyway, you never know with Della. But Pete does a lot of good in our community, let me tell you, because Link Plus is a critical element for our community and the senior center in particular. Many of our members and our visitors come to the senior center by way of Link Plus. Yep. And so, we thought we should spend a little more time on that so the seniors out in our community might become more aware of the services that Link offers for the folks in our community. And I just say that, for instance, if you wanted to come out here for lunch sometime after we get reopened, Link Plus is a really good way to get here for lunch, and they pick you up and take you home afterwards. So,
that's right.
You want to talk just a little bit more about the Link Plus and
Sure. Yeah, the Link Plus program is designed for those individuals who are unable to use our fixed route buses. It's a door-to-door service, and you schedule your ride just like you would calling a taxi or something like that. We'll pick you up at your house. We'll take you to the senior center. They'll let you know what time they'll pick you up to come home. And like I say, it's door-to-door. And right now, everyone's riding no cost because of the COVID that we've been experiencing. So that's a bonus too. I'll go. There's nowhere for anybody to go right now. But what I do mainly, Dave, is I teach people how to ride that fixed route bus. I teach them that they can get on that bus anytime and go where they need to go. For instance, today, Della and I are gonna ride out to Walmart from here. And so my job is to teach her step by step how to safely and confidently use our bus system to get anywhere they want to. And I do train people to use the Link Plus system because when you're first starting, it's a little confusing. It can be intimidating for some people. So Link started this program, and I think of it as like being a tutor. And so wherever somebody, whatever their skill level is where we start, that's where I start with them. Sometimes it's only one trip, sometimes it's several in a row until they're comfortable and they feel safe traveling by themselves.
I know we have a bus stop right out in front of the senior center, right on Maple, that makes it nice, and I'm sure it was put there for a reason. And I do see some of our members come that way. I also noticed that with the Link Plus that there's several buses that run simultaneously, so it's not like they have to get on a bus and ride for some time, dropping everybody off before they get to their destination. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, we have a dedicated dispatcher who's fielding those calls as they come in. Sometimes they're set up ahead of time. Sometimes they'll get a same-day call. And they'll take a look. Let's say Della is coming out here riding Link Plus. Somebody else calls and they're in the neighborhood. Maybe they're going to Safeway instead. They'll probably pick up the two of them together, but they're going to keep that ride as short as they possibly can. They don't want people riding all day on that bus. Yeah. And so it really is, they try to make it as convenient as possible. Now, Link Plus is designed to supplement our regular service, and that means that it is a shared ride from time to time, just like a regular bus would be. But we need to make sure we can pick up all of our citizens and everyone has equal access to get around town. That's what it's for.
And so the geographical area that's covered with Link Plus, can you talk to that?
Yeah, Link Plus will follow the regular routes that we have around the region. And these are generally down here in the valley, and we will pick up somebody 3/4 of a mile outside that regular route. That's our boundary that we need to work within, but we realize not everyone is right there at a bus stop. And so we will drive out to go and get them and take them where they need to go. And that's the same for the destination and where they're being picked up. Yeah.
Now, the senior center does not get involved in scheduling or any of that kind of thing. That's all done through Link. So if somebody's interested, they just call that number. Yep. They get familiar with it. Yep. And then they make their own reservations for pickup and coming in and leaving and departing.
That's right. Yeah. When they book that ride, they will book the return ride as well. Want to make sure we get that covered at the same time.
And so what would the cost be for the seniors?
Right now, nobody's being charged anything. And so we're going to be looking at that in the coming year and see if we're going to reinstate a fare program. Right now, we're kind of weighing to see whether it's the best, what is the best benefit to us. It sure is easy not to charge anybody as they get on the bus. That is a small percentage of the money that Link takes in. And so I don't know about budgeting, how all that stuff works. It's not my decision. But I think right now, we're trying to keep down driver to passenger contact. So there's no exchanging of money. There's no exchanging of transfers. And so everyone's just kind of keeping their distance for right now. But we also realize we got to let people get around on the bus. And so we just open it up for everybody right now. Yeah.
Well, once again, I'll say that, we don't have any transportation at the senior center. A lot of senior centers do have a small bus or whatnot to help seniors. And not having that resource, Link Plus, is very significant to us.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people come here every day using the service, but it's a significant number of people.
Yeah, well,
and they wouldn't be able to get here otherwise.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's just keeping people independent and giving them the freedom to get out of the house and go and see their friends, go to work, go have lunch, go have fun, wherever it is. We want to make that possible for people. So that's what the Link Plus program is for.
I've always wing it.
Yeah, okay, we're good.
I'm here with Della Franz. Been talking to Pete a little bit here about Link, but thought we would get Della to speak a little bit about her experiences with the Link Plus. Before we get into that, though, I must say that Della has been volunteering at the Senior Center for some time, long before I ever even got here, and that was about 8 years ago. So Della is very much appreciated around here. I think her claim to fame is serving milk at lunchtime, and she forewarned me when I got here to watch out, that somebody was going to complain about the color of milk, or that it wasn't cold, or it was this or it was that. And she was right. And then pretty soon I wasn't the new guy anymore, and they just kind of gave up. Yeah. And they just said, well, Della's doing it. She knows what she's doing, and nobody's ever gotten sick. So that's where you go, right? No, in all seriousness, the Senior Center runs with volunteers, and we can't do it without them. And Della's, I don't know how many days you've missed in 8 years that I've been here, but I could probably count on one hand the number of days that you have missed lunch. And maybe I'm stretching the truth a little bit, but not very often do we miss Della. So.
No, I'm with you here every day. I leave home about 9:30, and I go home about 4:30, and everybody takes a deep breath when they see me get into a vehicle and she's gone. I love it here. I love it here.
Well, not only do you help us out at lunchtime, but I think a lot of days you do hang around and play some card games and whatnot. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we have a very good canasta group. We almost outgrew a table room, and in fact, the canasta group meets at the park up until the weather turned cold, and you get very attached to each other. And also Mexican train, play Mexican train, but I love, my favorite is doing the milk. I love doing the milk.
Well, when she says doing the milk, she means doing the milk. She makes the rounds. She doesn't just stand there and pour it into a cup or what have you. She's moving around the room and delivering the milk to the tables. And there again, that's why volunteers are so important and special here, is all the little things that we do for our seniors. And so very much appreciated, Della. The other thing I wanted to mention is that you've become somewhat of a celebrity, especially when the movies were playing. How did that come about? When the movie theater had an ad running down there.
I like to sit way up on the top at the movie theaters, and I would walk in and everybody would go, And I had to say, yes, it's me. I came to see the movie.
We're still not sure who made the decision to put you in those ads at the movies,
Well,
but obviously you somehow weaved your way
I
into
got
that.
there.
Yeah.
A star was born.
Yeah. Well, I've been a witness to some of the little Christmas parties we've had here, and I got to know Della pretty well. She would be one of the first to sit on Santa's lap every year to tell Santa whether she was naughty or nice and what she wanted for Christmas. And you know, I really appreciate the fact that you were always willing to jump in and participate in all these little special events.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're just one great big happy family here, and I actually started out working in the thrift store, is where I started, because at one time I did run a consignment store myself. So I started there and just wormed my way into the kitchen. I even get stopped on the street and everybody says, "Do you have any chocolate milk?" So it's fun.
There's a little story about the chocolate milk. There's always a little story about what we do at lunchtime or anything else at the senior center. And Della can tell you all of the facts behind how we got to where we got with chocolate milk only on Fridays and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But we've managed over the years to make, I think, pretty much everybody pretty happy. There was a time where a lady said, "Well, where's the buttermilk?" And I said, "What buttermilk?" "Well, we always have buttermilk." I said, "Well, nobody told me." And then she handed me a $20 bill and says, "Go get some buttermilk."
Yes.
I think you remember some of those folks. Some of the old timers really love their buttermilk.
Yes.
You know, we don't do so much of that anymore.
Well, Fridays is buttermilk day also, and I hear about it. I hear, "Where's my buttermilk?" We've lost quite a few of our buttermilk drinkers. Is what's happened, and I miss them all.
Well, there again, I appreciate our volunteers because a lot of times they take the brunt of all of the complaining that goes on. And I get it about the third person down. I finally start hearing about it if it's really serious. But I know Della gets a lot of that, and there again, that's why we were really appreciate all of what our volunteers have to do. Yeah.
Well, it isn't that bad.
Well, it can't be all that bad. I mean, 8 years I've been here.
I love it. I love every minute of it, and I've got to find a reason to come over here.
Well, obviously, you can ride Link, and
yes, I can.
You've been riding Link.
Yes.
You can testify to what that service is all about. You want to say have a few remarks about it?
I do. I gave up driving about 4 to 3 years ago. 4 to 3 years. I can't remember how long it's been now. I still have my driver's license. Nobody took my car keys from me. They wouldn't dare. Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed because before I learned how to ride Link Plus and the bus system, I had to depend on friends and relatives. And now, if I get the urge to go somewhere, I just know what time the bus is going to go by, and I get on it, and away I go. And so I don't have to think, I got to stay home, I don't have a ride. So I really enjoy it. And the drivers are wonderful. They're very wonderful drivers, very caring.
So you've been riding Link for, well, you said when you hung up your car keys.
Yeah.
Since then.
About 3-4 years now. I've been riding Link.
Well, once again, I know that it's an outstanding service to have for our seniors.
It's wonderful, wonderful.
And so thank you for what you do, Pete.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see a little bit of in the bus action here pretty soon. So we'll get to watch some of that.
Good.
Well, thank you, Pete. Thank you, Della, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
I think this is going to be good information for our senior population. Yeah. Thank you.